Namaste, namaste.
I think you can start now, sir. I think they have left. People have come in.
Oh, Huda. Okay, okay.
I think ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬಂದು ಹೊರ್ಟೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ.
Oh, पदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषे च प्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरैनं जहि रावणिम्. Namaste and welcome back to the continuation of Ramayana series in relation with Ishvara to Swara. So this has been, as the trend has been, or as we have picked up the Ramayana story, we have been following the story of Ramayana in a very uh, amusing way, I have to say, because we have not been following the way the story has been constructed or the way the story chronologically is popular, but we have been following the story in such a way that uh, it is kind of raising questions and understanding the correlation that exists between the attributes, the qualities that Rama was made up of. We can say that Rama was made up of such qualities, at least in terms of us um, imagining. Uh, by the way, I mean in the best way possible when I say the word imagining. So we have to build an image of Rama for ourselves in our heart, and that image should have all these 16 qualities. Just like how a painter paints the picture with so many qualities in it, so many characters in it, so many nuances and intricacies in it. Similarly, when we want to build an image for ourselves about Rama, that image of Rama in our heart should have all these characters, all these properties, attributes, qualities, which makes Rama a rich picture. So we may have started the idea, or we may have had the idea of Rama, the image of Rama in a very low resolution. What we are trying to do is increase that resolution and try to put Rama in our head, in our heart, in a 4K resolution, possibly. So for that to happen, the finis is required, that charisma that Rama carried. Every time we talk about Rama, it is one such thing. Rama is one such personality which oozes with so many attributes. In every episode that we see, we may have identified one quality. It is not like one quality in one episode. There could be hundreds of ways of interpreting the and analyzing the particular episode, which will only lead us towards realizing how many qualities can we find in Rama in one situation. So uh, we have to really appreciate the way Valmiki has uh, constructed Ramayana. It is truly his brilliance that he has made mm, Ramayana story in such a way that it allows us to witness Rama's gunas in every single episode. In every step, we get to witness Rama's greatness. I mean, as part of when we try to realize what Rama is, why we have picked up Ramayana for our series of Ishvara to Swara. What is this Ishvara Bhava and what is this Nashwara Bhava? See, Nashwara is the bhava of us, the mortality, the mortals is they possess this Nashwara Bhava, because one day there is this conception, there is this idea, the perception of existence for us, and the very next day we become non-existent. There is an absence of existence that accompanies us at times. Whereas Ishvara, the Ishvara Bhava, is something that remains as it is at all times. It is not like it will vanish into thin air. So it remains at all times. So that bhava, that existence, that is known as Ishvara. So, how can we elevate ourselves to that Ishvara Bhava? So, because we don't view this particular creation or ourselves to be completely devoid or bereft or free and different from the Ishvara Bhava. We are that Ishvara. If we have that Ishvara Bhava in us, because we do say that Bhagavad Gita itself has said that Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. So if Ishvara is in all of us, if Ishvara is found in the heart of all creatures, then obviously the question rises that how do we realize it? How do we witness it? How do we identify it? So that is the whole process of learning or trying to analyze the stories of Ramayana. I know that it has been more than a couple of months. So many lectures have happened, both on Ramayana as well as understanding Swara, the concepts of Swara and all. One may feel that it is not required as of now for us to understand what is the true purpose or why we have set out on this journey. But but I tend to differ in that from the beginning till the end, until our last breath, we must not forget why we have set out. So every time I take a step, every time I speak, every time I do some work, I should always be in alignment with this fact that why am I doing this? What is it that I am seeking from all these activities? So when we say that Ishvara to Swara, how am I going to connect to this Ishvara Bhava is what we are searching for. They made it one thing plenty clear that Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. This is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, where Krishna very clearly, beyond anybody's doubt, has put forth this principle that Ishvara Sarva Bhutana, not just in selected few, only in those creatures who believe in Ishvara, Ishvara is found. Those who do not believe in Ishvara, Ishvara is not found. It is not like that. Those who have an intellect, those who have buddhi, Ishvara is found. Those who do not have buddhi, Ishvara is not found in them. That distinction does not exist. This is the reason why he says Sarva Bhutanam. In all creatures, I might be a sculptor and I'm working with stone. And if I cannot see that Rama Tattva in that stone, as a sculptor, I will never be able to bring the idol of Rama, bring that image of Rama onto the stone. I may be a great painter. I have the best ideas. I have all the ideas related to the color palette. But if I don't know that Ishvara Bhava, if I cannot see that Ishvara Bhava in that color or in those colors, I will never be a successful painter. So whatever we do, even in the swaras, I might be a well-trained singer, Carnatic singer, and years of training, hundreds and thousands of kacheris. We might be, but as long as we do not have that idea of Ishwaratva, if I'm not able to see that Ishvara in everything that I work with, in everything that I'm associated with, in everything that I witness, see, feel, touch, express throughout my life, that Ishvara Bhava will remain incomplete in us. So we may have Swara in abundance with us while speaking, while listening, while expressing, while thinking. Even while thinking, we use swaras. Yeah. There is something called as high thinking, low thinking, mediocre thinking. So that is basically swara. No? The same thought is thought in a high end level. So then it becomes high thinking. It is if it is thought in a low level, it is low thinking. So similarly, Swara has occupied, it is all Swaramayam. The entire Prapancham is Swaramayam. We ourselves are Swaramayam. We need to identify these Swaras. And not just the Swaras, but we have to identify that part of Swara which can lead us to Ishvara Bhava. One might question that how come the Swaras can lead us to Ishvara Bhava? Because Swaras also possess Ishvara. Ishvara is there in everything, in every element, in every aspect. Whatever we take, in every single thing, Ishvara Bhava is there. So it's all about sensing that. It's all about identifying that Ishvara Bhava. It is not important what we see, or rather, how we see. It should be like, what are we looking from what lens, which matters the most. For someone who has no idea about the the iconography of Bharatavarsha, okay, for them it all appears like stones, carved stones, and they may not understand the value at all. This is not me trying to sympathize with those who were idol breakers. I'm not sympathizing with them. But if we have to put it down to analysis, and if we try to analyze why they were against this, because they never understood, they were never able to see that Ishvara Bhava in stone. Those who never have seen that Ishvara Bhava in a painting will dismiss that art. So, what, why people are not, why so many people in the world are not driven towards art is basically because of the lack of Ishvara Bhava, because they fail to see that Ishvara Bhava in the things that surround them. Another beautiful example that my teacher used to remind me is in the second chapter of Valmiki Ramayana, Balakanda. After Valmiki and Narada's conversation is complete, Narada takes leave, and Valmiki, along with his Shishya named as Bharadwaja, goes to a nearby lake called as Tamasa. He goes to Tamasa, he looks at the water of Tamasa, and he says that Ramaniyam Prasannambu. It is beautiful, Ramaniyam, it is very beautiful, looks quite serene, and at the same time, Prasannambu. The water is very pleasant to look at. So these are the descriptions of the Tamasa Nadi. And he didn't stop there. Valmiki did not stop there. He goes on and he gives a simile, an upama for that. What is the upama? Sanmanushya mano yatha. Just like a Satpurusha's mind. See, when we hear this example uh, and we compare ourselves, we might have seen the fresh water of Gangotri basically. Just imagine if you have ever been to Gangotri, the birthplace of river Ganga. You have seen the fresh water emerging from that Gomukham in that Gangotri. And I see that. And what is it that I am capturing in my mind? What is that bhava that I have in my mind? Valmiki, when he saw the river, the clean river, the pure, the crystal clear river, he was reminded of that Satpurusha's mind, because in Satpurusha's mind there is no differences, there is no kalmasha, there is no unnecessary hostage kind of situations. They are free, they are always clean. So he was able to relate to them. So that is what it means to see that Ishvara Bhava. If we can see that Ishvara Bhava in each and everything that we witness, and that is our pathway towards Ishvara. Even though we have Swara, every time we hear the words that are spoken around us, there is Hrasva, there is Dirgha, there is Pluta, there is Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita. Basically, Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita are called as Swaras. So every time we speak, there will be some sort of udatta. The tone will be slightly higher. Anudatta, the tone will be slightly lower. And then there will be swarita, which is a mixture of both udatta and anudatta. So this is a basic idea of swara, which we will discuss further on in terms of exploring what swara is, in terms of vyakarana, in terms of Veda, in terms of shiksha. Very clearly, shiksha mentions mantro hina swarato varnato va. The prominence, the importance, the significance is given to swara more than the varna. In Shiksha, when it comes to phonetics, they say that swara is utmost important. You can't change the swara. So if such a rule has been established in Veda, one can only understand how important swaras are, or what an important role does swara play in the entire exposition of Ishvara Bhava. Why Swara is required? Swara is required so that we can decrypt, we can decode. It is like an enigma. Everything in and around us is like an enigma, and we need to break that code. And to break that code, we are using the swaras. If I can identify that Swara, and through that Swara, if I keep on digging deeper and deeper and deeper, it can only lead us towards that Omkara. That is the Ishvara Bhava. That is what we are trying to achieve. So, Ishvara to Swara is that connection that exists. And for that to happen, we must train our mind in such a way that whatever I see, whatever I hear, whatever I witness, I should be able to see, hear, and witness only the Ishvara Bhava. Now, this is truly called as Samadarshanam. This is what Krishna refers to in Bhagavad Gita as well. Panditas Samadarshinaha. He called Panditas as Samadarshis. Panditas means, the ones who have Atmajnanam, the Brahmajnanis, the great Panditas, the great rishis of our country. He called them as Samadarshi. He knew that it is subjected to plenty of interpretations. So he goes and he explains what is Samadarshanam. He calls that Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. So Sama refers to Brahma. Therefore, Samadarshi means Brahmadarshi. Sama is that Ishvara, Parameshvara, Paramatma, whatever word we may prefer. So, our ability to witness, see, hear, touch, feel, everything, whatever we do, it should ideally lead us towards that Ishvara Bhava. If it is leading us towards that Ishvara Bhava, then it is the proper way of decoding Ishvara in the world of Swara. So, in this journey, we are taking a look at Rama. We are trying to build an image of Rama in such a way that it is not chronologically accurate. The stories that we have been discussing, we are running around all the sargas. We are trying to find the most apt story that describes that particular quality, that particular attribute of Rama in the best way possible. That doesn't mean that the other episodes do not highlight this particular quality of Rama. For example, when in the previous class we discussed about Satyavakya, Satyavakyata, the ability to speak the truth, is not just identified in only a couple of instances, a couple of episodes that we picked. Satyavakyata is also highlighted in the fact that Rama, not just Rama, other characters have also used Rama's Satyabhashitvam as one of the prominent things. For example, Sita, for example, Lakshmana. They say that if Rama has never spoken a lie, then may this do its thing. Lakshmana says this. I mean, if you have observed the second shloka in today's in the beginning, today's Mangala shloka that I mentioned, Dharmatma Satyasandhascha Ramo Dasharathiryadi. Three clauses that Lakshmana put before he took his arrow, his last arrow to shoot down Indrajit. It was a fierce fight between Indrajit and Lakshmana. So he put three clauses there. First and foremost, the ones that we can understand. Okay, and it is quite popular in Kannada language as well. And excuse me for using the language which might feel like in a lower strata of Kannada language. I told you Swara makes it all difference. How Swara makes a difference. You can see the difference here. Ramo Dasharathiryadi sounds very fabulous, isn't it? Ramo Dasharathiryadi sounds very sophisticated. I'll put it in the lowest strata possible, in as much sophistication as possible. In Kannada, they say that ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ರಾಮ ಅವರ ಅಪ್ಪಂಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾದರೆ, that is what the actual meaning is. Dasharathi, the meaning of the word Dasharathi is Dasharathasya apatyam. The son of Dasharatha is called as Dasharathi. The third clause that Lakshmana puts there is that if Rama truly is the son of Dasharatha, if Rama is the true son of Dasharatha, why that we will see in a different angle from a different perspective. But what I am trying to highlight is this episode was not highlighted in the previous class when we talked about Satyavakya. But you have to see the second clause that he puts, Dharmatma is the first one, Satyasandha, second one, Ramo Dasharathir Dasharathi, the third clause. You can see, you can identify the second word, Satyasandha. He said that if Rama has always remained truthful in his life, then let this arrow kill Ravana's son Indrajit. Not only did this episode highlight the importance of Lakshmana's Parakrama, but it also equally emphasizes on the fact that Rama was a Satyatma, Rama was a Satyavakya. This is how we need to look at Ramayana. It has got several angles. We are trying to explore a couple of them, just trying to build that vision on how to look at Ramayana. So when I start looking at that bhava, that Ishvara bhava in every episode, then even the shloka Dharmatma Satyasandhascha, Ramo Dasharathiriyadi, will also lead me towards Rama's Satyavakyata. That was the point that I wanted to highlight. So this is the insight that we get in Ramayana. It is rich. It is like, uh, rich with uranium kind of thing. The world is very much behind finding uranium, isn't it? So Rama is like that. Ramayana and Rama are like that. So we will find plenty of such episodes where more than one quality of Rama gets highlighted. Here, not only Rama's dharmajnatvam, because the first clause is dharmatma. So not only Rama's dharmatmatva is put forth as a clause by Lakshmana, but also his satyavakyata, also his great birth, and also his great paurusham, paurushecha apratidvandvaha. If Rama truly is such a great warrior that he doesn't have anybody who can stand in front of him, this is not something that you say out of Atishayokti Utpreksha either. This is not something hyperbole, as they say. This is not hyperbole that Valmiki has used. This is actually truth. This is Swabhavokti. And Lakshmana puts it to good use. Just imagine, Lakshmana was also equally well trained in all the Shastra Vidya. Whatever astras and shastras Rama knew, Lakshmana also knew all of them because he was always with Rama. He also got the Vidya directly from Vishwamitra, Bala, Ati Bala, all the Astra Grama and all. And it's not like he has not used any of them. He did use all of his Astra Vidya. We see that, we witness that when we read that particular part of Lakshmana and Indrajit's uh, battle. And in spite of going through all these things, after having used all the vidya that he had uh, on astras, what was the last thing that remained? He said that none of this vidya even comes closer to what Rama stands for. That was the understanding of Lakshmana. Sometimes we fail to see Rama, the weightage that Rama carried. And if we ever want to realize what was the weightage that Rama carried, we need to see Rama from the eyes of Lakshmana. It's a very crucial battle. They are in such a situation where Indrajit's powers are only going to increase as the time passes, because as the day ends and the night begins, Indrajit becomes more and more powerful because of his Maya Vidya. And at such a crucial time, it's a huge pressure. Everybody's eyes is set on Lakshmana. The focus is on him because if he doesn't defeat Indrajit, then nobody else could have stopped him. It is impossible to defeat Indrajit because he had that Vara where he could have become invincible. In such a crucial position, in such a crucial time, when you have exhausted all your options, now one cannot imagine to be in that position where you have exhausted all your positions. Uh, you have put all your money in, and nothing has come in return. All your assets have turned into liabilities. Everything is gone. And at that time, at last time, he had one arrow, and he takes that one arrow, and to look at the confidence in his investment there. He puts these clauses: Dharmatma, if Rama has ever been a Dharmatma, if Rama has ever been a Satyasandha, if Rama is truly the son of Dasharatha, if there is nobody equal to Rama in Parakrama, then let this arrow kill Indrajit. That is the confidence displayed by Lakshmana, which goes on to highlight, which goes on to teach us a lesson that this is how much attributes matter, gunas matter in life. Not only that, but in each and every angle, in each and every aspect of life, Lakshmana was able to see that Ishvara Bhava in Rama. And at the last time, at the end, when it was a very crucial time, Lakshmana was able to recall that Ishvara Bhava. Basically, what is Ishvara? All powerful, all pervasive. That is what is known as Ishvara. Ishate, Ishate means to lord over, to command over something. It's called as Ishvara. So when he said Paurushecha apratidvandva, pratidvandva means he who has a second option, or he who has an opponent. We have heard about Yudhishthira that he was Ajata Shatru. He never had an enemy. So similarly, for Rama, he was apratidvandva. Pratidvandva means he who can give a fight to him. There was nobody who could have matched Rama's caliber. So where is this power coming from? This is known as Ishvara Bhava, no? Oh, you must be wondering that why I am hitting the nail on the word Ishvara Bhava. Because you will know that what is the best way to attain that Ishvara Bhava, you ask. That is the quality that we are going to discuss today. Yeah. Yeah. So exactly, whenever it starts, that doesn't matter, but it takes exactly 25 to 30 minutes for this vehicle to get warmed up. Uh, I'm I'm quite happy to admit that fact. I don't care. 30 minutes is required to get this old machine started, and now we move on to the connection. Now to see the connection. If I have to reach that Ishvara Bhava, it should be present at all times. It should not be challenged at any given point of time. It should not undergo any modifications, changes, improvements, first edition 1.0, 2.0, nothing like that. It is as it is from day one to day. It should be Adi and Ananta. That is the true definition of Ishvara. It should be beginningless, it should be endless. It is not subjected to any modifications or changes. And at these qualities, if these aspects, sorry, if these aspects can be associated with any of the qualities, that means that it is driving us towards the Ishvara Bhava. The whole idea of looking at Ramayana is, if you get impressed with any one guna of Rama, it takes that long. Okay. And not because there is any deficiency in you, because the words that are spoken by a mortal being like me would require these many efforts in order to put forth in front of you an image of Rama in such a way that it would impress you so deeply that you fall in love with that one quality, one attribute, one guna of Rama. That is sufficient. One guna of Rama you pick, and then you start exploring how that is truly making Rama an Ishvara. Okay. He truly is Rama Lingeshwara. I'll tell you how he is Rama Lingeshwara. Yeah. Linga means Leenam Artham Gamayati iti Lingam. That which describes, that which leads us towards the hidden uh, thing, the things that are deep down, unknown to anybody. That is called as Leenam. So that Leenam Artham Gamayati, that which leads us there, is called as Lingam. So Rama is so hidden. Rama eva lingam, Rama lingam. What is linga here? What is that leenam artham gamayati? What is that leenam artham? The deepest artha that is there is Rama. So he, and if when something drives us towards that Rama tattva, and it makes us realize that this Rama tattva is truly the Ishvara, then he becomes Ramalingeshwara. It may seem like far-fetched wordplay, kind of idea. It doesn't matter. But Rama, how he is close to Ishvara, how any one attribute, any one guna of Rama, if it impresses on us, and if we hold on to that guna, and if we keep on digging and digging and digging into it, we will truly find that Ishvara Bhava, because it is undisturbed by time. It doesn't undergo any modifications or changes depending upon the changes that happen in places. So desha, kala, aparichinna. So both desha and kala will not have any sort of impact on on them. So such a quality becomes Ishvara. Such a quality leads us towards Ishvara. That is the true meaning of Ishvara Bhava. And how do we attain this Ishvara Bhava? Why is this Ishvara Bhava so important for us to examine, for us to determine, for us to identify and inculcate through Ramayana? Because he may not have, Valmiki has not mentioned the word Ishvara describing Rama. Nevertheless, he has used he has highlighted the Ishvara Bhava in such a way that we will be able to see it today. The next attribute that we are seeing today is Dridhavrataha. This is a common guna. Dridhavrataha. Dridhavrata. Okay. So Valmiki asked, is there anybody who can be identified, who can be called as Dridhavrata? So he says that yes, Rama is a Dridhavrata. How is he a Dridhavrata? How do you understand this Dridhavrata? Okay, so that is the most important question, isn't it? So one of the most striking thing that we need to see doesn't come in Ramayana, but I'm trying to lead you towards Yoga Sutras. Okay, fabulous work of Patanjali. Everybody is quite uh, appreciative, and they are well aware of what Yoga Sutras are. Now, in Yoga Sutras, Patanjali talks about the yamas and niyamas. Okay, and after talking about yama and niyama, he actually brings about a concept called as Mahavrata. Okay, it's very interesting. He talks about this concept called as Mahavrata. What do you mean by Mahavrata? Is if one can practice any of these five yamas or five niyamas for a longer period of time, where the time, place, or circumstances do not play an important role in the modification or changes in that practice, then that practice will be called as Mahavratam. This is the 31st sutra of the second chapter. The 30th sutra, in the 29th sutra, he mentions all the Ashtangas: Yamaniyamasana Pranayama Pratyahara Dharana Dhyana Samadhayo Ashtabangani. This is the 29th sutra of Yoga Sutras, second chapter. Okay, Sadhana Pada. And then the 30th sutra, he mentions the five yamas: Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. These five are called as yama. Okay, so I'll repeat them again so that everybody can note it down. The first one is Ahimsa, second one is Satya, third one is Asteya, fourth one is Brahmacharya, fifth one is Aparigraha. These five are called as yama. Now, immediately after mentioning these yamas, we will discuss about what is ahimsa. All these things we will definitely discuss. They're very important to understand as well, these five elements. First and foremost, let me explain these five as quickly as possible, and we will also see how Rama's character, or how Rama possessed all these five of them. Okay, the first one is ahimsa. How can we say that Rama practiced ahimsa? He killed 14,000 men single-handedly, and then he killed so many rakshasas. So it cannot explain the fact of ahimsa, is what we think, because the concept of ahimsa is wrongly understood by us. See, himsa is basically when one fails to realize what his true nature is. That is called as himsa. Okay. Himsa is basically our failure to understand uh, our true nature. So, my true nature is Chidananda Rupa, Ananda Swarupa, that Ishvara Bhava. When I fail to realize my Ananda Swabhava, or when I fail to realize my Ishvara Bhava, it is considered as Himsa. So, the opposite of this, basically, realization of the self, realizing that Ishvara Bhava is called as Ahimsa. Okay, so when we have this Ahimsa, it is generally, uh, it should not remain for only a small period of time. What we mean to say is it should not be condensed or contained or a kind of limited. It should be unlimited. When it becomes unlimited, then only this ahimsa will be considered as a mahavrata. Otherwise, it is not a mahavrata. Okay. So, where exactly do we find Rama's ahimsa vratam? Throughout Ramayana. It's not one simple example or any one example that we see in Rama, but in all the episodes of Ramayana, everywhere we find Rama not forgetting his own self. What is Rama basically? What should be the idea of Rama? Rama is Dharma, Dharma is Rama for us. Do we find ever Rama leaving his Dharma? Never. No matter how much difficult the situation was, how worst the situation was, yeah, the intellectuals, the pseudo bhaktas, feminists, and thinkers, so many people, even to this day, they have their strong opinions on Rama. Everything is fine with Rama, but what he did with Sita, you see, we have all these kind of people with us, amongst us, and still Rama's image remains undisturbed. And I'll also put it in other terms. Rama is the only character that has been tried by every single person to tarnish. The image has been tried to tarnish by everybody. Whoever wants to prove himself, the best way to start is pick up Ramayana, say something against Rama, and you will have a platform ready for you. Even for those who wanted that Atma Khyati, who wanted that Kirti for themselves, Ramayana was the only thing. The best example is those who do not believe in the existence of Rama, unfortunately, won their national award because of a movie named as Hey Ram. Even there, they couldn't leave Rama behind, you see. So, yeah, I know it's okay. Such kind of pun is needed. We will understand. Even for them, Rama was needed. So, such is the image of Rama that nowhere we will find him deviate from the path of Dharma. That is why, for him, ahimsa. When people say, when the people quote ahimsa paramo dharma, this is what they mean ahimsa paramo dharma. That never ever deviating from that Ishvara Bhava is the true form of ahimsa. That is what truly ahimsa means. And we had that in flesh and bone, and that was Rama. Therefore, ahimsa, the example for ahimsa in Rama is the entire Ramayana, and how he never deviated from any of these mistakes. He had hundreds of options to commit mistakes. And even today, we all can, come together and identify that is there anything that Rama could have done differently. We can conduct seminars on that. We can invite papers on that. What could Rama have done differently? and people will be very happy to present their views on Rama. But it is laughable because we will never be able to understand that pratishtha, that kind of strength Rama gained or derived by remaining in the path of dharma. See, to deviate, to think out of the box is very easy. Keep saying this. It sounds very odd for many people, but to think out of the box, to go beyond a certain boundary to achieve something is the easiest thing to do. To remain in the within the boundary, to remain within that maryada. That is the reason why he's called as a maryada purushottama, isn't it? What do we mean by maryada? Maryada means elle, seeme in Kannada, boundary in English. To remain within that boundary and still achieve greatness. That only Rama has done. That is why he has set the benchmark so high that we are not even able to climb it. Because we are not able to climb it, we want to call the base camp as Mount Everest. Rama is truly the Mount Everest. Since I cannot climb Mount Everest, let me call the base camp as Mount Everest so that I can claim that I also have climbed Mount Everest. That is foolishness. That should not be done. We should see Rama there, and he is there. That is ahimsa for you. And then Satya. There are hundreds of examples we just discussed about Satya, the value of Satya that Rama brings as well. So the second one doesn't require any explanation. The third one is Asteya, the act of non stealing, not stealing anything from anybody at any given point of time. Okay. Um, when when he needed uh, some important help, okay, I just want you to uh, understand the importance of Asteya here. Sugriva, I'm going to put this across, this situation across to you, how vulnerable Rama was. Uh, if we were in the place of Rama, we would have definitely chosen the second path. I'll tell you. Vali has been defeated, Vali has been killed, Sugriva has been crowned as the king of Kishkinda. The monsoon is set. The onset of monsoon means they can't do anything. Therefore, Rama himself gives Sugriva the benefit of doubt that I understand you might feel obliged, that you may feel like you owe me something and you want to put your sources to work immediately. But I do understand that it might not be possible, it might not be feasible right now. I get that point. Therefore, what I suggest you is you take a couple of months, one rutu, entire Varsha rutu, that is 2 months, and you take a break for this entire rutu. You have been deprived of luxuries and pleasures of royalty. Go and enjoy the royalties. You deserve to be a king. So he set him out. Look at the clarity he has. He was not selfish at that time. Anybody else, ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ತಾನೆ, immediately you do it to me. Return favor. Return the favor as soon as possible. Rama understood, so he sent him. 2 months in terms of military, in terms of strategy. Think from a political perspective. Okay. 2 months is a long time. And given the fact that Sugriva was so immersed in the joys, luxuries, and pleasures of statehood or loyalty, how difficult was it for Rama to take his entire army out? One word from Rama, and the entire Vanara army could have mutinied against Sugriva. Hanuman was on Rama's side. Who else do you need? You could have taken anybody. You could have told them that Sugriva is not paying attention. Will you all join me? They could have said yes to Rama. Did Rama say that? When there is an opportunity to steal somebody's army, and if you don't do that, you could have stolen the thunder from Sugriva. I never did. He never wanted to hog the limelight from him, even after Sugriva sent his troops away. And when they came back, he always said that it is only because of Sugriva's help, Sugriva's strength, that I was able to locate my wife. Who would say that? When you are powerful, power breeds arrogance, but not in Rama's case. Because the power that we understand is derived from Kama and Krodha. The power that Rama had derived from Dharma. So when the power is deeply rooted in Dharma, it doesn't bring out arrogance, it brings out sense of responsibility. That is what asteya means. Even when there is an opportunity for us to do something which will take things, which is similar to taking things away from others, whether it is stealing the thunder, whether it is taking credit of someone, whether trying to bankrupt them. He had plenty of options, but he never did once. That highlights Rama's asteya. When you are surrounded by people, it is very easy for you to be not a thief. Everybody is a great person when you are surrounded by 100 CCTV. Hundreds of you are under the surveillance. When we are under the surveillance cameras, we are the most well-behaved people. Uh, uh, and you remove those surveillance cameras, then you will see whether they are all truly dharmic or not, truly rule oriented or not, rule following, rule fearing people or not. It's all because of surveillance cameras, no? They know that whatever I do, it will be caught on camera. That is what is prompting 90% of them from following the rules. They are not following the rules because they see a certain amount of happiness, a certain amount of safety in following dharma. Most of us follow dharma out of this sort of surveillance cameras. And who are these surveillance cameras? Our parents, in most cases. Nowadays, even we have lost that kind of respect towards parents. So grandparents, maybe. My guru used to say that every house should have a nagging old lady. You know, every house should have a nagging old lady. Kani, Kani ajji ಅಥವಾ Kani hengsu anta they used to call her. Whatever you do, there will be some sort of Kani from her. She will say that this is not right, that is not right, it's ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತು ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತು. We have heard plenty of stories about that. But every house deserves one such lady. The reason is she is the one who keeps us on our toes. She keeps us on that perfection, on the line of that perfection. The moment we sacrifice such kind of characters, you see how we fell down. Our downfall began when we started losing these kind of nagging old ladies at home. There is nobody to prompt us anymore. ಗೌರಿ ಹಬ್ಬ ಇವತ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, 8 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಗೌರಿ ಹಬ್ಬನೇ, 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನು? It all starts with this thought. I'm just giving an example, that's all. It all starts with this kind of indiscipline doesn't take too long. All it needs is lack of surveillance cameras. The moment they are removed, we tend to become we tend to show our own true nature. And even when there are no surveillance going on, who was there to judge Rama at that point? It was Rama and it was Lakshmana, only two of them. He could have easily done that, no? He could have easily said Lakshmana. Lakshmana was itching from day one, he was itching. Let's go kill someone, let's take back the kingdom. And it was Rama who held him back. And he was on the verge. Even at the end of 2 months, and Sugriva was not even showing any signs of progress in terms of assembling the army. There should be some halchal should be there. No? ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂಚೂರು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. Nothing to show. Even at that time, Rama did not lose his cool, but he sends a warning message to him. Samaye tishtha sugriva mavali pathamanvagaha. He says that Nasa sankuchitah panthaha. This is the message that Rama sends via Lakshmana to Sugriva. Says that Sugriva, do not forget the path in which your brother Vali went to Swarga has not narrowed down. It is still wide open. What he means by that is Samaye Tishta Sugriva. Remember the word that you have given me. Ma Vali Pathaman Magaha. Don't follow the footsteps of your brother Vali. Because if you act like Vali, you will end up like Vali. I can, if I can send your elder brother to Swarga in this path, I can easily send you too on the same path. It's just a fair warning. Whereas he could have easily stolen everything from Sugriva. Of course, this kind of thought would never cross our mind. I'll tell you the reason, because we take this part of Asteya in terms of Rama for granted. It's very interesting. Many people would not even think about it. They can't even imagine that Rama could have done this. But you for a moment you forget about Rama. Place yourself in that position as a strategist. Would you not have done that? Your entire army is at your disposal. They respect you. You command respect from them, and their leader is immersed in worldly pleasures. Why would you not take that army for yourself? Isn't it? That's what anybody would have done. But Rama did not. That is Asteya. And another brilliant example of Asteya, Kishkindha was fair and square won by whom? The kingdom of Kishkindha, Rama, right? Because he killed Vali, so technically the kingdom belongs to Rama, but he did not. And then the second one, he won Lanka fair and square, but did he claim Lanka to be his own? He did not. He gave it away to Vibhishana. So these two aspects highlight the fact aparigraha of Rama. He did not receive, he did not seek things for himself. He knew very well where are his boundaries. This is not mine, this does not belong to me. Being in the forest for those many years, 13 years, hardships in forest, and it did not corrupt Rama. Even for a second, even for a minute of fraction of second, it did not corrupt Rama's mind. 4 days of Upavasa we do. On the second day of Upavasa, our minds are already corrupted. My mind is already making a plan about the feast that I'm going to have on the fifth day. That's how corrupted my mind is. There's no sense of aparigraha there. Look at the kind of aparigraha that Rama had. And then the fourth one, this is the fifth one that I mentioned. Third one is Asteya. Asteya and aparigraha, because they were closely related, I mentioned them. In between both of them, Brahmacharyam. The Niyamanam, the kind of strength he possessed in order to maintain that discipline throughout his life, that brahmacharyam Rama had at all times. And never once we feel when we see that Rama was indisciplined in any manner. So these four elements, these five things are considered as yama. Okay. And then I welcome you back to the Yoga Sutra, where Patanjali says, Jati Desha Kala Samaya Anavachinnaha Sarvabhaumaha Mahavratam. What does it take for something to be called as a Mahavrata? He says that I have taken this Vrata. What do we mean by taking a Vrata? Most of us are unaware of what is a Vrata. So this is what Vrata means. It should not be it should be not avachinna. Avachinna means associated. Anavachinna means disassociated. What all things must we disassociate ourselves for something to become a vrata for us, for something to become a mahavrata for us? Suppose I say that Satya is my vrata or Dharma is my vrata. They're some of the easiest things to say, so to speak. So if I'm going to say that Satya is Vrata or Dharma is my Vrata, Ahimsa is my Vrata, Aparigraha is my Vrata, whichever one we want to say. So then, what are the conditions? What conditions should I meet in order to consider these attributes to be my Vrata? First thing is it should be disassociated with any jati. What do we mean by jati? Jati here refers to pertaining to any particular thing. For example, I'm not going to lie. If this is the vratam that I have taken, which means I'm going to say the truth at all times. This is the vrata I have taken. But I'm going to speak truth only to the people of my village, of my grama, of my city. If I find someone hailing from Bangalore, I'm definitely going to lie to him. That is not Mahavrata. That is the opposite of Mahavrata. Vrata means whoever it is, from whichever part to whichever category they may belong. The ways of categorization might be 100. We are not bothered about it. They might have been categorized using a different parameter. We are not bothered about the parameter. We are only bothered about the categorization. No matter whatever the categorizations are, if I remain disassociated from any and every categorizations, then the practice that I'm doing will become Mahavrata. Very difficult, isn't it? See, the first thing we need to understand about Vrata is that it is undisturbed, unchanged. It is completely disassociated with categorizations. But we have so many clauses that we put for ourselves in order to maintain discipline. There are many people who will say that, I follow strict diet. Okay, follow strict diet only when I am at home. When I go around, when I go away from home, I can't follow strict diet. Then it is not a vrata. It is never a vrata. And this is the reason why we hear in our tradition as well. Vata Savitri is a vrata. Varamahalakshmi is a vrata. Gauri is a vrata. Shivaratri is a vrata. Navaratri is a vrata. So why are we calling these things as vrata? These are called as vrata because you cannot change, you cannot differentiate, you cannot give any reasons that only if I am given a certain uh, category, only if I belong to this category, only if I find myself closer to this category, I will follow this, otherwise I'm not going to follow this. That is not the definition of vrata at all. Vrata means anything that is a vrata is always timeless and boundless. These are the first two conditions that we need to put in our mind. Okay, jati. And then comes desha. Region should not be a problem. I'm going to follow, Satya. But my following of Satya depends upon desha. In Mysore, I speak Satya. Okay. When I go to Bangalore, I don't have to speak Satya. That should not be the case. I'll tell you a very interesting thing. There are many people who think that the rules and regulations that we have in the name of Dharma, okay, they are all applicable only when you are in Bharata Desha. The moment you cross the ocean, you can act however you want. If you ever find such kind of people telling you these kind of things, find them, hold them, hang them, shoot them. All six bullets. Because it's absolutely lie. It doesn't work that way. What do you mean? If you cross ocean, you can do whatever you want. That, I mean, what sort of niyama is that? That is not the idea. Desha shouldn't matter. That is why Desha Anavachinna. Wherever I am, whichever part of the world I am, if I am following something, I must follow it diligently. Only then it will become Mahavrata. Otherwise, it is not Mahavrata. Okay. And then the next third one is Kala. Desha. Desha happened now Kala. Jati Desha Kala. Time should not matter. Once upon a time, I used to follow so many rules and regulations about food habits. I also, once upon a time, used to follow so many rules related to my food. I was very keen on my diet. What happened to you now? Time, you see. That is not a vrata. That's not an excuse, is what I'm saying. This is the difference. This is what puts us away from attaining Ishvara Bhava and Nashvara Bhava. This is the difference that exists between Nashvara Bhava and Ishvara Bhava. If we want to attain that Ishvara Bhava, we need to rise above these constraints that we have created for ourselves. Some constraints are natural, some constraints are man made. For example, Jati constraint is a man made constraint. We have categorized based on certain parameters, and I'm using that very cleverly. I'm using them as a constraint as a constraint to follow certain things. Desha and Kala are natural constraints. The last one is Samaya. Very interestingly, Samaya means you have given your word. Okay, I've said that I will deliver this or I will do this, and then it is 7 years happened, 10 years happened. Then we would like to execute our rights, saying that after these many years, the word will lose its value. Uh, Maybe legally, I don't know. I have to see that. Legally, it will be like that. 10 years. If you do not, if the contract is not upheld for 10 years, then that contract will be null and void. Something like that in legal terms. It might be true in legal terms, but not in dharmic terms. Dharma doesn't allow such kind of neglecting, such kind of nulling and voiding is not allowed in dharma. If we take up something, and if I have not, for example, mantra upadesha, many people will take up mantra. There is a great yogi who has visited our place, and I go to them. He's delivering mantra. I took mantra. I took the upadesha from that great Mahatma. Now I'm not following it. But when you got that mantra from that Mahatma, you gave your word to that Mahatma, because that Mahapurusha asked you, are you willing to follow this forever? No, you need to do this twice a day without miss. I said, yes, yes, I will do. We gave our word, and then I have not been doing. Then it means that we are vrata bhrashta. That should not happen. So when he says jati, desha, kala, samaya, anavachinna, not to be disassociated on any of these counts. These four should not be used as constraints for us to refrain from following that. Only then they will become sarvabhauma. They will become sarvabhauma, applicable to all time, age, and place. They are called as Mahavratam. And Valmiki posed this question to Narada, asking, is there anybody who is a Dridha Vrata, who is deeply rooted in Vrata? In all the previous qualities that we have discussed, and in all the qualities that I am going to mention further, is there anybody who can follow these qualities or who is following these qualities as a Vrata, not as a choice, not as something as an option? Rama did not keep Dharma as an option. Do you think Rama kept Satya as an option? Do you think Rama kept Parakrama as an option? No. He followed it throughout. That is what Dharma brings, consistency. Consistently, under no circumstances, he did not change. I'm going to say that this is the story part now. Okay, very quickly. In 5 minutes, I'll tell you the story. Or interesting thing to do is, today it has been a lot of information that has been put down to you. So what I would like to give out as an assignment for this week is, make a list of the five yamas: ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. We have described, I have explained what these five are, and I've also given you certain circumstances from Ramayana related to Rama, how he followed ahimsa. What do we mean by Satya Asteya in Rama's perspective, and how it was Mahabharata, how anything can become a Mahabharata. So these are the broad things and a quick capsuling of what we have discussed so far today. And it is only Vrata that will lead us, that will enable us to reach Ishvara Bhava. That part is also discussed by us. Even that part is clear. Now, there are two questions that I would like to give, and also the response for the previous sessions and assignments has been, uh, let us say, below par. But I'm hoping that maybe this week we will have more enthusiastic participation. But because the assignment that I'm going to give is not only related to Ramayana, but I want all of us to uh, find out any one peculiar quality, uh, the quality that you feel is the most important attribute that a person should have. None of it related to what we have discussed today. It could be anything, any quality that you feel is the most important quality that a man must have, that a person should possess in their lifetime. And then, on the basis of four different constraints, come up with your own type of constraint and how will you overcome those constraints. I don't want you to write an essay on the constraints itself. I know the jati desha kala samaya can be a constraint, it is a given fact. How are we going to overcome jati constraint, desha constraint, kala constraint, and samaya, that is giving our word. Okay, these four constraints, how can we overcome these four constraints for any quality of our choice to to become a Mahabharata for us? This is the gist of the question. Okay, I hope everybody got this question. So it would be nice to see how all of you will explore. The first and foremost, it is a deeply uh, thought out, well laid out question, because it would require several steps. First and foremost, you have to identify that quality. What quality do you think is the most important quality for life? And then you have to think about the various constraints, four types of constraints. And then you have to, this is second level. The third level is how will you overcome these constraints? So it's a three level question, one question with three different levels. So if this can be answered by next week, I think that will truly mean that we are identifying how we can move towards that Ishvara Bhava, from Nashvara to Ishvara. The journey should happen. So how will it happen? It will happen through Swara. I told you Udatta, Anudatta, and Swarita, three Swaras are there. So three level questions. So slowly we will move. Identification, and then analysis of the problem, and obvious solution to overcome those constraints. So this is the three level question that will be an assignment for the next week. uh, I hope this is a little bit of, I know it is a little tough question, but I hope everybody can do it.
Can I just repeat the question? How can we overcome the four constraints of Jati, Desha, Kala, and Samaya and still maintain one Vrata?
Yes, of the desired quality. By desired quality, we mean whatever quality we feel is very important for us to uh, very important for us to keep throughout life. Everybody will have a different idea about such a quality. So one quality, identify one quality for an entire life that can be followed by overcoming the four constraints of jati, desha, kala, and samaya.
So, whatever we feel is important to maintain for life.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I've posted it in the groups.
Oh, yes, wonderful, wonderful. Jati, Desha, Kala, and Samaya, and still maintain one vrata of the desired quality. Perfect. Perfect. I think that will uh, keep people occupied for the next week. It's a long
Or
question.
frighten them away.
No, I mean it's kind of a filtering thing, but I'm very sure that it will not frighten because it will only force them to think. We have to think, we have to identify. It brings confidence. I'll assure you that if we keep trying this, it will definitely help us, filter out unnecessary things from our life. First and foremost, we think that this is also important, that is important. All those unnecessary things will vanish. Only the most necessary thing will remain with us. And then I will be able to identify the constraints and then to overcome those constraints. It's like life set hai if we do this. So yeah, hopefully we will see some very good responses by next week.
So we'll end the class, sir.
Think with this, we will. I'll conclude the class today, but we haven't completed the discussion on Dridha Vrata. We will come back. We will first. I want all of us to identify our own qualities, and then we will find out what is that one quality that Rama used as a vrata that he himself has spoken about. That we will see in the next session.
So we are
Okay.
having, so 1 minute. We
Yeah,
are having a offline workshop on 14th. I hope you all are informed of it. Otherwise, I'll post it. We are doing one on Swara, Raga, and Ragamala paintings. I think,
wonderful.
yeah.
So,
Okay, sir.
कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्या आत्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि.